back to Adobe Mania. Today I'm going to show you how I did this bike animation in Adobe After Effects. Let's get started. Before animating, you can prepare your own illustrations in Adobe Illustrator or any digital drawing software. So here I've made my own illustration in Adobe Illustrator. And in this video, I'm going to concentrate only on After Effects animation and not on step-by-step illustration in Adobe Illustrator, since I've covered enough of Adobe Illustrator in my previous videos. In my first video, Pen Tool in Adobe Illustrator, I've explained all the basics right from how to open a document and the basic keywords used in Adobe Illustrator that absolute beginners need to know. And I've also explained how to use Pen Tool, and finally, at the end of the video, I've shown how to trace an image with Pen Tool using all the tips and tricks that we've learned in the video. And in my second video, I've shown how to trace half of a woman's face and flip it over using Reflect Tool and join them together to make a whole new complete face, and also how to color the face to make a 2D illustration. And in my third video, I've explained all the basic shape tools in Adobe Illustrator. And I've also shown how to draw this cute cat using only shape tools in Adobe Illustrator. So I'll link all the videos down below in the description box, or just go to my YouTube page and click on the Adobe Illustrator playlist. Now I'm going to quickly brief on how to prepare your illustration file in Adobe Illustrator, how to get your Illustrator file into Adobe After Effects. So the main rule here is you have to have your illustration in layers. Here you can see I've drawn everything separately in separate layers. So right from helmet is in a separate layer, scarf, neck, arm, forearm, wrist, hip, leg, foreleg, ankle, foot, women body, handle, pedal, bike body, front wheel, back wheel, bike shadow. Okay, everything that you want to animate should be in separate layers. Okay, also keep your layers in order so that you will not get confused when you animate in After Effects. And just save your file as .ai. Here I have my background illustration saved as a separate .ai file. Okay, and the main rule here in the background is the starting and the ending should be the same, because we are going to run this background behind our bike animation, and only if the starting and ending is same, it will look seamless. Okay, let me save this as well as .ai. So now I have two Illustrator files. One is my bike illustration and the other is my background. You can also have both in a single file as well. Just save your background as a separate layer. Okay, on the welcome screen, just click on the new project. Just double click here in the project panel, and I'm going to browse both my Adobe Illustrator files, my background as well as the bike illustration. And here in the import as, just select composition, retain layer sizes. Okay, and click open. Now I have both my Illustrator files imported, both as composition and also as folder, which has all the layer information. Now I'm just going to double click my bike composition, and I'm going to right click over here, new solid, and I'm going to get a solid background for this. Just choose any color and click OK. So this solid background is only for temporary purpose, and later we're going to replace it with our background. Okay, now click and drag this background to the end. Fine. And here in the timeline panel, you can see all the layers got imported in the same order that we have made in Illustrator file. Now, the first step is we have to place the anchor points in place, because your animation will work depending on where you set up your anchor points in each layer. To set up your anchor points, just click on the helmet layer over here. Just click anchor point tool here in the toolbar, or just press letter Y in your keyboard. Okay, and I'm going to set the anchor point at the bottom middle over here. Okay. And let me zoom in a little bit. Just press Command plus if you want to zoom in, and hold spacebar and drag your image down. And now I'm going to select this scarf and move the anchor point over here. Now let me just hide this scarf layer, and I'm going to click the neck, and I'm going to move the anchor points to the middle. And now I'm going to select the arm layer over here, and I'm going to place the anchor points over here. And now I'm going to select the forearm, and I'm going to place the anchor point over here in the elbow, just like how we have joints in our human body. And I'm going to select the wrist, and I'm going to place the anchor point over here. Let me hide forearm before placing anchor points. So you can just see, this is why we have to draw in layers. Okay, so I'm going to place the anchor points over here, and let me bring back the forearm, and I'm going to select hip, and I'm going to place the anchor point over here. Okay, and let me select the leg and let me hide hip, and here is where my leg is starting. So I'm gonna place my anchor point over here. Okay, and now I'm gonna hide my leg as well, and I'm gonna click onto my foreleg, and I'm gonna click my foreleg, and I'm gonna place the anchor point over here. And now I'm gonna select the ankle, and I'm gonna place the anchor point here, and let me select the foot, and I'm gonna place my anchor point here in the center. And now I'm gonna select woman body, and I'm gonna place the anchor point over here. Let me bring back my hip and leg. Okay, and now I'm gonna click on this handle, and I'm gonna place the anchor point over here. Okay, and I'm gonna select the front wheel, and in the wheels your anchor point should be in center, like exactly in center. Okay, only then it will look good when we rotate it. And in the back wheel, the anchor point should be in center as well. And in the bike shadow, let the anchor point be in the center. I think we forgot the bike body. So in the bike body, just keep your anchor point in the center. Okay, something like this. So now the anchor points are all set up. Now the second step is to link your layers, and I'll show you why we have to do all this later. Okay, so select your helmet layer, and you can see a spiral shape over here. Just click and drag to the neck layer. So now your helmet got linked to your neck layer. Okay, and no need to link scarf with anything. Now just link your neck with woman body. Okay, and link your woman body with hip, and link your arm with woman body as well, and link your forearm with arm, and link your wrist with forearm, and hip with none, and link your leg with hip, and link your foreleg with leg, and link your ankle with foreleg, and link your foot with foreleg as well. Now I'll show you why we have to do all this linking thing. Okay, now let me just click this hip layer, and I'm going to press R in my keyboard to reveal its rotation keyframe. Okay, and let me just click and drag to rotate. And you can see, so we can move the whole body by just altering the hip rotation. And you can see the scarf is not moving because we haven't linked scarf with anything. And let me go ahead and link the scarf with neck. Okay, here you go. And now let me alter the rotation of the hip. See? So this is why we have to link layers together. Okay, so since I've kept the anchor point here in the middle, the point where you kept your anchor points will stand still, and the rest of the things will rotate around it. Okay, and let me just select the front wheel, and I'm going to press letter R in my keyboard to reveal the rotation keyframe. And if I just click and drag, you can see our front wheel is rotating only because we have kept the anchor point in center. So this is why aligning your anchor points is so important, and you also have to link your layers. Now let's start animating. Now I'm going to select my helmet layer, and I'm going to press R to show the rotation. Now I'm going to place a keyframe over here in the starting. Okay, I'm going to place my cursor at the starting position, and I'm going to click on this stopwatch to make a keyframe over there. And I'm going to move it over here, and I'm going to increase the rotation to say 6 points. Okay, and I'm going to move it over here, and I'm going to copy the first keyframe from the starting position, and I'm going to paste over here. Just use Command C and Command V to copy paste. So let me zoom in now. So from first keyframe to second keyframe, your helmet will move down, and from second to third keyframe, your helmet will move back to its original position. Okay, so we'll animate the scarf later. I'm going to select the neck layer, and I'm going to press R to reveal the rotation, and I'm going to set a keyframe at the starting position over here, and I'm going to click and drag to this position, and I'm going to give it -3, because as your helmet moves down, your neck should move up. Okay, let me give -3, and I'm going to go to this position, and I'm going to repeat the same thing. I'm just going to copy the first keyframe by pressing Command C in my keyboard, and I'm going to paste it by pressing Command V. Okay, you can just hardly see the neck movement because of the scarf over here. So let me just hide the scarf, and then let me just show you. See? Now let me go to arm, and I'm going to press R to reveal the rotation. And here you can see, if you alter the arm rotation, your whole hand will move. So this is happening only because we've linked the forearm to the arm and we've also linked wrist to forearm, right? So this is why we link layers, okay? So same way, I'm gonna make a keyframe over here at the starting position and I'm gonna move it over here and I'm gonna give, say, -5 and I'm gonna move it over here and I'm gonna repeat the same thing. Just copy paste your first keyframe, okay? Here you can see the slight movement, okay? Now I'm gonna go to my forearm and I'm gonna press R in my keyboard to reveal the rotation and I'm gonna repeat the same process again. Just set your first keyframe, move to your position and I'm gonna give a plus value. And I'm gonna go to this third position and I'm gonna copy paste my first keyframe. Alright. Now I'm going to go to my wrist and I'm going to repeat the same thing again. Just set your keyframe and here I'm going to give a value, say, no, not over here. Command is it. I'm going to move to this position and I'm going to increase its value to, say, +3 should work. So the values over here are not constant. So just look at your animation, see how it works, how it moves and set your values according to that. Okay. Now let me go to this location and I'm going to copy paste the first keyframe and you can see the movement over here. Okay. So we'll do the hip later. Now I'm going to go to the leg over here and press R to reveal the rotation and I'm going to start the keyframe over here and I'm going to move and I'm going to give a value, say, -3. Okay. And I'm going to move over here and I'm going to copy paste the first keyframe. And let me repeat the same thing for foreleg as well. Just don't forget to move your cursor as you set keyframes. Let me just start the rotation over here. Let me just move it here. And here I'm going to set -3. And after moving here, I'm just going to copy paste the first keyframe. And you can see the movement here. See, I've just made this ankle as an extra part by mistake. You can just have foreleg and feet. You can just skip this ankle part, okay? So I'm not going to do anything with that. And I've linked the ankle with foreleg so that it moves according to the foreleg, okay? Now I'm going to select the foot and I'm going to press R. And I'm going to set keyframe over here and I'm going to move. And I'm going to increase the movement a little bit. Just look at your animation movement and then set values according to that. Let me set it to 12, okay? And I'm going to move this and I'm going to copy paste the first keyframe. You can see we've got a nice movement over here. Now I'm going to select the woman body and I'm going to press R and I'm going to set keyframe over here. Let me move it to this position and let me give a positive value so that your body bends down, okay? Let me move it over here and I'm going to copy paste. Let me zoom back out and you can see the movement. I'm going to select handle and let me zoom in and I'm going to press R to reveal its rotation. I'm going to start here. Let me move to this position and I'm going to rotate it. I'm going to give a minus value so that it rotates down, okay? And I'm going to move over here and I'm going to copy paste. You can just see the handle moves down and don't worry about the position. We're going to alter that as well. So now I'm going to select the pedal and I'm going to start my stopwatch over here. I'm going to move and I'm going to give, let me just drag this down and now, so your pedal should move down. So I'm going to give a positive value, say +12 and I'm going to move over here and I'm going to copy paste the first keyframe, okay? And now I'm going to select the front wheel and I'm going to press R to reveal its rotation. Let me zoom back out. So I'm going to set the first keyframe as it is as 0 and 0 and now I'm going to move it to the end position over here and I'm going to give it 50 and I'm going to increase it to the end value like 359 and now you can see as our cursor moves the front wheel rotates super fast and I'm going to repeat the same thing again. I'm going to go over here and I'm gonna give it 50 rotations, and I'm gonna increase the value to maximum. Alright, and now you can see as we move our cursor, both our wheels rotate super fast. So let me zoom back out a little bit. So now that all our rotation keyframes are done, now let's alter the position. Okay, now I'm going to select the bike body and I'm going to press P in my keyboard to display its position details. Now I'm going to place my cursor at the starting point and I'm going to click on the stopwatch over here to set a keyframe. Okay, and now I'm going to move over here and I'm going to alter its position to move the bike a little above. Let me just move the bike body up a little bit, something like this. Here you can see our bike body moves up a little bit. Now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to copy the first keyframe and I'm going to paste it over here. So now you can see our bike moves up and down. Now according to the bike movement, I'm going to alter both front wheel and back wheel position as well. Okay, so let's go to front wheel and I'm going to press P to display the position details, and I'm going to set a keyframe over here and I'm going to move over here. And now I'm going to alter the position of the front wheel according to the bike movement. Okay, so let me just move this up a little bit according to the bike movement, something like this. And I'm going to move over here and I'm going to copy paste the first keyframe. Okay, now let me repeat the same thing to back wheel as well. Press P, set your keyframe, move over here, alter its position according to the bike movement, move over here and copy paste your keyframes. Now I'm gonna animate the bike shadow as well. I'm gonna alter its position the same way according to the bike movement. Okay, so I'm gonna press P and I'm gonna start here by setting a keyframe. I'm gonna move over here and I'm gonna alter its position by moving up a little bit, something like this. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to copy paste the keyframe. And now we're going to alter the human position according to the bike. So now we're just going to alter the position of the hip to move the whole body according to the bike movement. Okay, so let me just go to hip layer and press P, and I'm going to set a keyframe over here. And I'm going to move. Now we want to alter the human position according to the bike movement. Okay, so just alter it according to the bike movement. And now I'm going to move over here and I'm going to copy paste the first keyframe. Command C, Command V. And now you can see the human also moves according to the bike body. Okay, and now you can just see when I move over here, the pedal movement is not right. So I'm just going to go to the pedal over here and I'm going to alter its position as well. I'm going to alter the pedal position, something like this. Okay, and after coming here, I'm going to retain the same position again. And now I'm going to alter the handle position as well. Just press P, start your keyframe over here. So I'm just going to move over here and I'm going to alter the handle position, something like this. Okay, and I'm going to move over here and I'm going to copy paste the first keyframe. And now you can see we've got a good movement with everything. And now just select all your keyframes together. Click and drag, right click and go to keyframe assistance and give easy ease for smooth animation. Okay, now let's animate the scarf. And I'm going to apply a wave warp effect to it to make it look like flying while driving. Okay, so just select your scarf and go to your effects and presets. And if you couldn't see effects and presets over here, just go to window and make sure effects and presets are on. Okay, and here just search for warp and you can find a wave warp over here. So just click and drag and place it into the scarf. And here I'm going to pin it to right edge. Let the wave height be 4. And I'm also going to alter the wave speed over here. Just increase the speed. Scarf will fly faster while driving. And now you can see this is how your scarf waves back. And you can also alter the position of your scarf if you want. Now I'm going to select the women body and I'm going to apply the same wave warp over here so that it seems like the cloth waves while driving. And this is completely optional. So I'm just going to select the women body over here and I'm going to click and drag the wave warp So just look into your animation and alter all the settings over here and pin it accordingly. Okay. So now that we've animated the whole thing, but the animation lasts only till the last keyframe and not after that. So what we're gonna do is, so now we're gonna loop out the animation like whatever we did to repeat throughout the duration. Okay. So just option click the stopwatch over here and click on the expression language menu over here. Go to properties and select loop out duration. Okay. So this will repeat the whole thing, the whole animation till the end. Okay. So now that we've looped the helmet movement over here, let me show you. If I move, you can see the helmet moves constantly, which means the animation which we did here will be repeated throughout the duration. So now I'm going to do the same thing for everything over here. You no need to loop out the effects. It's going to last till the end. You can just see. Now I'm going to select the neck over here. I'm going to option click the stopwatch and I'm going to go to properties and loop out duration. So now that I've added loop out duration to everything except front wheel and back wheel rotation. Okay. So if you want to see all the keyframes, just press Command A and press U in your keyboard. So this will show you all the keyframes that has been animated. So here in the front wheel and back wheel, have not added loop out duration to rotation keyframes over here, since we've already animated this throughout from here till here. Whereas I've added loop out duration to the position. Okay, so you just have to add this loop out duration to everything except front wheel rotation and back wheel rotation. Clear? And now let me play this for you. You can see. So this is how it looks for now. Now let's add the background. Now I'm just going to click and drag the final background over here and place it in such a way. And you will get the final background here in the timeline panel. Just click and drag to move it down. And I'm going to place it over here. Okay. And now you can just go ahead and delete the solid background which we have created earlier. We no longer need it. So just select and hit delete in your keyboard. Now I'm going to select my layer and I'm going to go into its transform controls and I'm going to scale this up a little bit to make my bike illustration sit exactly on the road. Okay. So now I'm going to alter its position. Let me move the background layer. Let me press Command minus to zoom out. And I'm going to move my background layer to the starting position over here. And I'm going to start the keyframe over here. And I'm going to move till here. And I'm going to move my background to the end. So now we just have to loop out the position. So I'm just going to option click property and loop out duration. Okay. Now you can see our background will repeat throughout the end. So now let me play it for you. This is how the final animation looks now. You can just see the scarf movement, wheel, the background, everything is fine. So now if something looks awkward to you, just go ahead and animate your keyframes again. Okay. So now that we've done with our animation, I'm going to show you how to export your animated video. Okay. So to export your After Effects file, just go to composition and click on the add to render queue over here. Okay. Now without making any changes over here, just give your file name. And since I have MacBook, the file format is QuickTime. So just choose your format as per your wish and click save and click on the render over here. Okay. So now it is start rendering and now your file will get saved in the location. Sometimes you just can't open up your After Effects file as it is. So for that, just launch Premiere Pro or any video editing tool and re-render your file again. Okay. Now I'm going to click on the new project and I'm going to give final animated video and click OK. I'm going to double click and open my file over here and just create a sequence and click and drag your video over here. Okay. So let's go to file, export media, choose your settings and click export. Okay. So this is how the final result looks like. I've added some background music to make it more interesting. So if you find my videos useful, do subscribe to my YouTube channel and also press the bell icon next to it to get notified whenever I post a new video. And also don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok for short tutorials. I'll leave my Instagram and TikTok link down below in the description box, and I'll also leave my YouTube link in my Instagram and TikTok bio. Bye.